We have decided that it is imperative that we celebrate every time a boy believes that he is a girl and then has hormones and surgery to prove it. This even if one of the kid's parents objects. So, according to People magazine, a Los Angeles County judge has now signed off on Zaya Wade's petition to change her name as well as her legal transition. Just to make clear, Zaya is a boy. According to People.com, Dwayne Wade's daughter, because this is the way that this is all so tied up in the media. Right? Every major narrative for the media is about violating taboos and then normalizing the violation of those taboos. This is how it became okay to say the kinds of things that you see Eli Mistel saying on MSNBC. It's also the way that we are now supposed to immediately just adopt the perverse language of suggesting that a boy is a girl. So People magazine says Dwayne Wade's daughter, i.e. son, has been granted an official name change and assignment of gender, according to court documents obtained by People. While Zaya has gone by her name since 2020, her legal name is now Zaya Malaki Aramis Wade, according to a ruling filed in LA's Superior Court. The judge also granted an official stamp of approval for the 15-year-old's legal transition that would allow her sex markers on documents to match her gender identity. So all documents will now say female, despite the fact that Zaya is, in fact, a male. Zaya is, in fact, a dude, a 15-year-old boy, a confused 15-year-old boy. And the entire media are in celebration mode. They're in celebration mode despite the fact that Zaya's mom is really objecting to this sort of thing. And this has made heroes, of course, of Zaya's parents. Zaya's parents are Dwayne Wade, the former NBA star, and Gabrielle Union, the stepmom. Now, Zaya's mom, Siobhan Funches Wade, alleged in a court filing last November that Dwayne was trying to profit from their daughter's outreach toward a name and gender change. And he says, none of us are surprised by Siobhan's attempt to fight Zaya's identity and her unwavering attempt to drag my name through the mud. I'm very disappointed that she continually finds ways of centering herself and her needs without regard to her children. Now, imagine any father said that about any mother in any other context, that you're centering your needs above the needs of your child. Oh my God, grave sexism. But not so if you are attempting to legitimately treat a boy as a girl and then legally transition a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old. Continuing his statement, Wade detailed how Funches Wade, 41, tried a similar attempt over a decade ago. And 13 lawyers later, I was awarded sole custody of our two kids as an active NBA player. All I ever wanted was to have my parenting time uninterrupted, as I knew it would be a very difficult time for our kids to navigate the new normal. Wade first spoke about his teen daughter coming out as transgender on a 2020 episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show. At the time, Wade noted his child had decided to go by the name of Zaya and be referred to by she, her pronouns. They were married for 8 years, by the way, and they share a son along with Zaya. That, by the way, is the best way to treat a child with a serious issue of gender confusion, is to go on the Ellen DeGeneres Show and just talk about it openly in the year 2020, by the way. The year is now 2023, and apparently Zaya is now 15, which means that Zaya was actually 12 when Dwayne Wade decided to go on Ellen DeGeneres and explain about the transition. And this is all to be celebrated by the media, just absolutely celebrated. So CBS Mornings had on Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade to talk about the power of acceptance. Never mind that mom thinks that this is a perversion of her son. None of that matters anymore because they are fulfilling the narrative needs of the media with regard to transvism.
So what is your message for those who might not have that support? Kids that are searching for not only their own identity, but for someone to help validate who they are?
Well, I want young folks who feel misunderstood or isolated to hold on. I know that it is difficult. I know you feel like the world is against you, and sometimes that is actually true. But there are so many people out here who want you to have the fullest life possible. And I think especially for young trans youth, know that whatever hate you hear, there's so much love that washes over that, and people are fighting for you.
There are people fighting for you to be away from your parents. Well, the media have propagated the narrative that racism is totally okay so long as it is directed against a certain group of people. So why would you trust big tech? Many of those people are the same people who run the media. Why would you trust them with your information? I don't, which is why I use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is the Daily Wire's most trusted privacy partner. They're a premier sponsor of this show. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like walking your dog in public without securing the dog on a leash. Most of the time, totally fine. Then there's that one time that a guy pops out of a van, grabs your dog, and just runs away with it and then tries to ransom it later. Yeah, that's bad. You shouldn't do that with your data. Okay, so go use ExpressVPN. Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, whatever, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on that same network can access and steal your personal data. ExpressVPN creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. ExpressVPN works on all my devices. You just fire up the app, you tap one button, and now you are protected. Get the VPN I trust to protect myself online. Visit expressvpn.com/Ben. Get an extra 3 months for free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Ben. expressvpn.com/Ben. Well, if it seems like a lot of the folks in the media are unbalanced, it's because they are. Well, I'll tell you what can bring you back into balance. Balance of nature. See, here's the thing. I hate vegetables. Vegetables are terrible. God's curse on all of us. But they're also how you get your nutrients. And this is why I rely on Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies are the best way to make sure you're getting essential nutritional ingredients every single day. Their products are 100% whole food. Balance of Nature uses a cold vacuum process that preserves the natural phytonutrients in whole fruits and vegetables and encapsulates them for easy consumption. Balance of Nature actually sent a bunch of their product down to the studio for our team to try. We all love them. They're kosher, so I get to take part in their bounty as well. You should do the same. Go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first preferred order. Again, living that healthy lifestyle, eating as many fruits and veggies as they tell you to, that's not the easiest thing in the world, but Balance of Nature makes it one of the easiest things in the world. Go check them out right now at balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Shapiro. Get 35% off your very first order as a preferred customer. That's balanceofnature.com and use promo code Shapiro. The entire media has decided that they are going to now side against parents who believe that their children have immutable biological sex. That's the really important thing to take away from all of this. This is the direction that our media moves. Our media are an ivory tower bunch. They live within a certain bubble, and in that bubble, a certain set of values is the norm. That set of values suggests that certain types of racism are okay and certain types of racism are not. That set of values suggests that boys can be girls, girls can become boys, and parents who refuse to acknowledge this pseudo-reality are apparently child abusers. And what you need is activists and authors coming in to explain to you that your parents are wrong, but you, in your internal subjective feeling, you will be made whole by a media that is there to cuddle you and give you hugs. I mean, by the way, they don't give two damns about you for the length of your life. I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, according to all available data, the rates of suicidal ideation, the rates of suicidality among LGBTQ youth are way, way higher than among heterosexual youth, and that is not because of quote-unquote mistreatment. That has much more to do with the fact that there is a high comorbidity between certain types of identification and behavior and actual depression. We acknowledge this in literally every other area of life, but it's politically impolitic to say that sort of thing when it comes to LGBTQ identification and behavior. But no, don't worry. They have your best interests at heart, as always, as always. Now, speaking of people who have your best interests at heart, it is fairly amazing that Disney has decided to blow itself out. You know, and talk about people who are targeting your kids. I am continually amazed by the fact that Disney, perhaps the most trusted brand in American life up till about 10 years ago, has decided that it is imperative to insert left-wing politics into every aspect of their being. It's like an incredible brand betrayal. As somebody who is a big Disney fan, as somebody who loves Disney legacy properties, as somebody who was a Disneyland annual pass member along with my wife and our kids, it is amazing how they decided to blow themselves out in order to please the woke contingent. Well, now Governor Ron DeSantis, he is taking the final step to remove the special tax dispensations that were given to Disney World. According to the Wall Street Journal, DeSantis signed into law legislation ending Walt Disney Company's control of a special tax district in Orlando and named new members to the state control board that now governs it. Here was Ron DeSantis explaining that Disney will now be treated like SeaWorld.
Local politicians, particularly in Orange County, were saying that would mean that the debt of Disney would get dumped on their taxpayers, they would have to do services, and it would cause major property tax increases for people in Central Florida. Now, I rejected that. A lot of media reported that would happen, and I said that will not happen. And so even though, and I'll announce here who's going to be running Disney on behalf of the state, even though I would like eventually the local governments to just take this, I was not going to put taxpayers at risk, and I did not trust them to be able to handle this at this point.
Now, DeSantis is taking all sorts of crap for this, but the simple fact of the matter is Disney was given corporate favoritism because, again, Disney was a favorite. Disney was like an unmitigated, apolitical boon to the state of Florida. And then they decided that it was very important that they become invested in politics. And at that point, I'm sorry, your special dispensations go away. F around and find out is the message from Governor DeSantis. And that happens to be correct as the woke corporations decide to insert themselves in every area of American life. Alrighty. Coming up, we'll get into some questions in the mailbag. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.